Mia. We about to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. But before we do that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And come on over here and kick it with your girl. So we just gonna talk about the Potomac. I did think this was a good episode. So y'all know that they made a whole big deal about Stacey talking to Chris, and I love the way Monique handled that situation, which I said previously that Monique, the best way to handle that situation is to be like, I'm divorced. He's a divorced man. He can do what he want to do. I don't know Stacey, so it's no issue. And that's how she handled it. I'm like, okay, Monique, see, like, they wanted it to be something so bad. It's like, that's my ex-husband, baby. I didn't want him. I gave him away for a reason. So why am I supposed to be on here beefing with Stacey about nothing? I like that. Gizelle and Monique welcomes each other. And Monique is talking about, her relationship with Chris. Wendy asked about, when the last time they seen her whole dynamic was different. And Monique kind of told him how, she was checked out of the relationship when her daughter was a baby. And that she felt like that they added on years to her marriage. And that it just wasn't working out. And y'all, did y'all pay attention to Stacey? Stacey was listening. She looked like she was like, let me see what she's saying. Let me see what she's saying. But I just seen a lot of people trying to blame Monique. And I hate when y'all think y'all know a person's whole relationship just off of clips of a show. And just because Chris was a good man as far as providing financially and stuff, and having the money and all that stuff doesn't mean that he didn't have his flaws. If y'all remember on the Potomac and when she was on Carlos' show, Monique complained a lot about Chris not being involved with the kids, not helping her around the house and stuff. And I know a lot of people, it's like, well, he make the money and at this time he's retired. I don't know what he's doing day to day. But when we have kids, these are not just my kids, these are our kids. And it's a lot of women that are sadly married single mothers. And they get tiring after a while. Like, I know a lot of women are speaking from a place because they don't have that or they haven't had that, and then they looking at Chris as like he's a provider. But once you've gotten a provider and he's providing and just being a decent person is not the whole part of the relationship. Like, it's other stuff that goes into that. And if you are a provider yourself, or you have been used to being provided for, then that's the bare minimum if y'all really want to keep it a buck. And then not only that, providing is just one half of that's just a piece of it. Not even half, that's just a piece of it. It's other stuff that comes within that. And so Monique just kind of tell them how the last time that she had intercourse with him, she let him know that he wouldn't enter her again and that she was over it. So if that marriage was indeed weighing her down, then she did the right thing. I can't speak from what's going on because we don't know Chris' whole side of the story, and I try to refrain from just bashing the men just because, whatever the case is. But I will say, from when Monique was on the show previously, some of her claims were very valid. Angel is with her husband and they are looking at a house, and they are in the market to buy a house. Cool. Angel is still on the whole Wendy Gizelle thing, but the strange thing for me is, it's not even strange because I've said this plenty of times, excuse me, y'all, that Angel won't beef with Gizelle. And I think it's because, like I said, Gizelle's spot, the way they see Gizelle, they feel like Gizelle is the OG, she's a big dog. They don't really want to beef with her for real. But she's so hung up on Wendy calling her a catfish when Gizelle is the one who said it, when all the other ladies chimed in on it. And I even felt like her husband, Bobby, in that moment, he was kind of saying, he was saying in so many words, but not trying to probably, say it on camera to her that it's a show. get over it, let it go, but he didn't really come out and say. It's kind of like he said he was getting there, and then he kind of stopped. When Angel did say she hold grudges, which we can see, and it's like, I hate that Angel has made this her storyline. I hate that she's gonna be on here beefing with Wendy because of something somebody else said that Wendy just reiterated and laughed at and kind of agreed to, but the other lady did the same thing. It's just like, Angel, those pictures did not look like you, boo. It's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. I just feel like this was a key moment, and Angel, like I've said plenty of times before, she's just not built for this type of TV, and that's just that. So word on the street is that Stacey went back and called Chris as soon as she left the restaurant when Monique was talking about her and Chris issues and the reason that they got divorced. Somehow this got back to Cookie. I think Chris called and told Cookie, or that's what they're saying. Do y'all think Ashley did this? Okay, I don't know. It's not far-fetched. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that they don't believe that Stacey called Chris, but if Stacey talked to Chris, now I like Stacey. I think Stacey is a good addition. I think Stacey knows how to play the game. But I do think Stacey is a liar, as we're going to see. And I do think Stacey can be full of shit. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Like, this is a show, and Stacey is playing her role, right? Just like the others. And I do feel like if her and Chris do indeed talk, it's not far-fetched to go back and say what somebody said. Now, do I think Ashley and Kay is messy? Yes. Do I think Ashley is suspicious? Absolutely. But I'm just saying, if Stacey and Chris are friends, how she say they are friends, and they talk and they're so cool and all this extra stuff, then I can see Stacey calling Chris, because Stacey love a moment. And not only that, we seen how in tune Stacey was. And if you didn't, go back and watch, baby. Stacey was all ears, listening to everything, making sure she didn't get nothing wrong. Wendy and Monique meet up, and y'all, I thought it was so funny when Monique called Cookie a whole demonic entity. That was too funny to me. Monique is like, she do not fool with Cookie. She said that she met Cookie back in 2007, and that Cookie lied about the go-go man being her daddy. And she was like, who does that? Which, like, if you lying about somebody being your daddy, Cookie. But I can see Cookie just being messy. We see it anyway. So Wendy, she said that she was open to talking to Monique. She was like, you know, Monique beat up her friend, which is Candace, so she wasn't going to reach out to her. But, you know, when Monique reached out to her to talk, she was like, she was open to, you know, talking to her and getting to a good space with her. After all, they're on this show together. I did like that Wendy made it clear that, you know, Candace was still her friend, and that, you know, at the end of the day, we know Wendy, she got to do what she got to do for her coin at her job. So she tells Monique that she should meet up with Gizelle. Monique asked her how is her and Gizelle doing, and she said that, you know, Wendy said that she considers Gizelle a friend now. Monique was like, oh, okay, you know, like, probably like, okay, this is different from when I was on here. So she said she's open to talking to Gizelle. Also, Wendy said that she wants them to quit ganging up on Stacey, and basically that Stacey needs to, you know, kind of take up for herself. But Monique says that if a person is trying to do everything you do and be you, you know, they might want to be you. Did y'all catch that? Wendy lets Monique know that, you know, she was basically disappointed in Karen, that Karen isn't her friend, which we all seen last season when Karen thanked everybody besides Wendy, which I thought was odd even last year. And so she's just like, you know, it's basically nothing there, and that she doesn't talk to Karen. People talk to Karen, and we know that person is Cookie. And yeah, Monique does seem like I said, I feel like Monique is a breath of fresh air this season. She seems like she's in a much happier space, and I'm open to seeing her back on the show. So we see Stacey and her ex-husband Timo taking their daughter to swimming lessons, and she invites Tia. Tia tried to invite them out on like a double date, triple date with Wendy and her husband, but Timo is claiming he has to fly out. And Stacey's kind of being weird about it, saying how, you know, Timo don't really like to be around people or something. I can't remember exactly what she said, but for me, Timo seems a little awkward. And at first I'm thinking maybe it's just the cameras, which it still could be just the cameras. But I just think it's funny. Like, Timo, he seems very awkward in a way. But at this point, I'm wondering, is he really awkward or is this another TJ situation? And I hate to say that just because that is Stacey's husband, ex-husband. Maybe he don't like the cameras. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he just don't like the cameras. I do know a lot of men don't want to be on here, but this is what their wife doing and they just supporting them. So I get that. But I just feel like if y'all gonna be this awkward and lie, and especially get caught in y'all lies, what are we doing here? Tia mentioned Stacey bringing Timo around to about and she's like, well, I won't bring him around until Gizelle bring her men around, which I'm not mad at that because we know Gizelle don't, you know, she do what she kind of do what she got the leverage to kind of do what she want to do. But at the same time, I just feel like it's awkward. Like if he agreed to be on camera, once you agree to be on camera, you're going to have to get with the program. And if not, then it's going to always seem like you lying, Stacey, which we know she be lying, but yeah. Stacey says she's friendly, but she's not stupid. And it's a history with the ladies. So that's the only reason why she invited Tia and not the other ladies. And like I said, she said that Gizelle hasn't brought anybody around. So it'll be pigs will fly before she meet Timo. But I just feel like they are an awkward couple. I know he's not from the States, so maybe that's why. But I don't know about Timo, y'all. Tia, her husband, Wendy and her husband, they all meet up. No Stacey. So they called Stacey to see why she didn't come. Of course, Stacey lied. Stacey said that Timo isn't comfortable around the group yet, which was cool. But then she lied and said that I think he flew out. And they caught her in the lie. And my thing is, we know Stacey be lying. I know a lot of y'all give Stacey a pass because Stacey is likable. Stacey is funny. But the way y'all used to be on Mia neck about lying, she lied just as much. And don't get me wrong, I don't even be really caring about them lying because I feel like they all lie. I feel like we've all lied for our men if he didn't want to go somewhere or do something, or we just like he don't want to go. And we go, or whatever the case is. But they are feeling a certain type of way. I think if Stacey just be honest and don't just be like, my man don't really want to be a part of the show. I mean, or he don't really want to film with you ladies, but he will be a part of my story. I don't know how that work with their contract. They can't do that. I don't know. But just be real about the situation. I feel like the lying is not, it's only going to just make you look crazy and make them come after you more. Tia brings up Angel. Angel is exhausting. I'm tired of talking about Angel in this catfish situation because I just feel like I'm steady repeating myself. I feel like this is becoming a situation how on Love and Marriage Huntsville where I just kept repeating myself. I feel like that's what I'm doing with Angel. It's like, girl, get over it. Like, if you feel this strongly and you feel this insecure about yourself, do what you need to do to get yourself together. And that's not no dig or nothing. That's just me being real. Because one thing I appreciate, at least Gizelle was honest and she said it to your face. Like, she could have been talking about you behind everybody else's back. Gizelle said it to your face. Wendy laughed and kind of reiterated what Gizelle said. But yet you were sitting here with the big issue with Wendy instead of Gizelle. Like, if you're not gonna check the the horse's mouth that it came out of, then what are we doing? Like, you wasting all our time. It's just like, at this point, I'm over Angel. Angel, bye. Wendy said, fuck you in that camouflage. And I feel the same way. And I really wanted to, like, Angel like to come on her and just do her thing, but she just failed. Like, it's just, I'm over it. And Tia, her man in this hair, baby, I can't think of Tia man name, but just go on and let it go. Go on and let it go. Go on and go by, brother. But so far, they seem like they're gonna be a cool couple. We are at Gizelle's event, and I gotta give it to Gizelle and Robin. They got the 10 million downloads and stuff on their podcast, and I know some of y'all don't like Gizelle and Robin, whatever. I don't know these ladies personally. They do stuff, all of them do stuff that I don't like. I'm not like a super fan of anyone, because I know some of y'all be super fans, and if you say something about some of y'all faves, y'all be acting like y'all know these people personally and y'all have a personal relationship with them. This is not that over here. We are not biased, and we try not to be biased. We're going to speak the real on everybody. But, so, going back to what I was originally saying, Gizelle and Robin have reached a milestone in their podcasting career, Reasonably Shady. And I love to see it. I love to see us black women thriving and doing our thing. So, matters how y'all feel about them. I'm going to give them their flowers. Like, do y'all thing. I'm that person that's rooting for everybody black. Yeah, I said it. This is that. I'm rooting for any. Like, I like to see anybody do their thing. Let's be clear. But when it's us, it's just, it puts the cherry on top. Robin didn't show up to this event. Of course, Gizelle was like, she didn't think Robin wasn't going to show up because of how she left the show. Robin probably was like, hey, they fired me. I'm not here no more. I'm not giving y'all no free airtime, which in that situation, I completely understand. So, y'all, did y'all notice how Angel came in asking Gizelle how they can make things right and trying to make it up with Gizelle while still blaming Wendy? I think it's well, I'm not even gonna say it's weird, because I know what it is. Like, I keep saying, these ladies they're wanting to be in Gizelle's good graces because they feel like Gizelle's spot is secured. She's the head honcho, whatever. And it's easier to make nice with Gizelle and to, make up with her and still blame Wendy, because at this point they don't feel like Wendy is, that big up in the chain, which I feel like this is Wendy's best season yet. That's my personal feeling. I feel like Wendy is doing great this season. I feel like she's been on a few seasons and she's learned how to play the game, and she's just playing the game now. And she's not taking everything really personally, because I think sometimes when you come on these shows and it's new, that it's easy to come on and take stuff personally because you don't know how to play the game yet. And I think Wendy is at that point where she knows how to play the game, and that's why she's kind of not taking things personally. That's why she's made nice with Gizelle, because at the end of the day, her and Gizelle may not be real friends. They may never be real friends. They may not even like each other, but they understand the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is to get our coin, to make our money. So we're going to come in here, we're going to do our job, and we're going to go about our day. And I think a lot of y'all need to understand that too. This is still a job. It's a different type of job, but nonetheless, it's a job. They're under contracts and they're getting paid. It's just not your typical job, but it's a job. Gizelle kind of listens to what Angel has to say. But she's like, Angel has a delayed reaction. She's like, Angel want to talk about stuff, and she want to talk about it right then and there. And this is my event, and I'm not supposed to make this about you. This is about me. So whatever we got to talk about can wait. Which, at this point, Angel, just get the hell off our screen, because you are not You cannot be about to spend this season mad at a comment that Gizelle made and taking it out on Wendy. Like, girl. We see Wale from Love Hotel. I really didn't watch it. I watched it like bits and pieces, and we know that he was dating Ashley or whatever the case is from the show. And Ashley's like, you know, he wasn't the one and all this extra stuff. But I really don't think Ashley like black men. Like, I've never seen Ashley like I've never seen her like say she's interested. Like, the men that she always go after never looks like us. Which is, girl, that's your business, that's your preference. And she like her older white men. Do you hear me? With a little coin, like whatever, Ashley, girl. And they be doing whatever they do, because we know she gets down. Wendy actually looks really good in this scene at Gizelle's event, because we know Robin not there. And Stacey, she sees Karen, she sees Vivian, and we know Vivian is friends with Karen, and her and Stacey used to be friends, and she said Stacey used to that Vivian used to always put her in clothes, you know, that other women would wear, and that, you know, she's over their friendship. But y'all, why when she was talking to Vivian, she rubbed that lady hair down? No, but I would always be here to give her a pat rub. It's the shade for me. And this is why I say Stacey is likable. That's why y'all give Stacey a pass. Because I'm like, now Stacey, why would you rub that lady hair like that? Tia is mad and she's confronting Stacey. And I think a lot of y'all is missing why Tia is mad. I don't think Tia is mad that Temu didn't come. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is that Stacey lied to Tia, and then when Wendy called her, she told Wendy the truth. And I think she felt like, you didn't have to lie to me. I feel like all Stacey had to say was, Temu not ready yet, instead of saying, oh, he flying out, he doing this. Even though Temu is the one who kind of said he was flying out, I think that maybe they can give her a little pass for that, because Temu did say it and she kind of just backed him up. But at the same time, I do see Tia feeling like, I'm trying to get to know you, and you just played in my face and lied, and you told Wendy the truth when you could have just told me, like, he not ready. He don't want to come to the events right now. He just, you know, you're here. We're getting to know you. He'll meet your husband soon, and we're going to keep it at that. But then again, too, it's a show. So Tia got to get her little, you know, she got to get her little 1-2 in, and, you know, get her little shine in. So she going to take it and she going to run with it. And I think that's what y'all need to understand. This is a show, and they going to all exaggerate everything, because this is how they making their coin. Now, in Angel case, it's over exaggerated and it's just team too much at this point. So yeah. So the final scene, baby, Stacey is Kay is going off about the situation with Stacey and Chris. And so Wendy had Stacey's back, and she's like, because Monique told her that if Cookie is around, that Cookie is clearly going to bash her because Monique doesn't like her. And so she's like, Monique should be here, since this is what we're talking about, her situation. And, you know, Stacey going back saying what Monique said about Chris. Cookie came over, and, you know, Cookie want her little, she was waiting to hear her name. She waiting for her little 5 minutes of fame and airtime, baby. She was waiting. And so Cookie is calling Stacey out her name, and Stacey started pointing at her, and she was like, don't point your hand, don't point your hand. Stacey was like, hold on, let me get over here so I can point my finger. I said, okay, Stacey. Stacey said, ain't no hoe in her blood. Which, okay, like, I like that Stacey did stand up to them. I did like that Wendy was like, no, let's wait till Monique is here, because this is Monique's situation. This is about her, and we can learn more information. Kay just wanted her little moment to shine. We know she has to find something to talk about, and now this is her way of doing it, to go after Stacey. We know she don't like Stacey, and I know Stacey hit a nerd when she was like, baby, you don't even have a husband to talk about, baby. So we shall see next episode what it's about. But yeah, this was a good episode, y'all. Like I said, this is very brief. We didn't do a full deep dive. But yeah, Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Enjoy it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.